Good morning. Friday morning. I actually thought it was Saturday already. Gee, I'm at 72. I shouldn't not be wishing the days away, even unintentionally. Um, just uh, just took a drive downtown Fort Mac. What a lovely day. Oh my goodness, it is. It's pretty impressive, actually. On Fox News, they're my CTV a little bit, but mostly Fox News. They're my go-to people for information, and all the people they have that they interview. Not not like normal folk. They interview people who are militarily minded, shall we say, and they I'm not altogether certain that they beat me to the punch in my alarmist attitude towards what's going on over in the Ukraine, but the little lady behind, Filipino lady behind the counter, taking my dollar for what I was picking up at the grocery store. She said something to me, and oh, that's it. Would you like to donate to the humanitarian aid for the Ukraine? And I don't donate like that usually, not ever. I kind of am more observe a situation and then see what I could do about it, and I am so glad that she did, and so I did a little tiny thing, not much, but I did what I could, and she said, Lewinsky. She's a Filipino girl working in a grocery in Fort McMurray, Alberta, Canada. And she says, Lewinsky. And she kind of held her hand over her heart and she said, "What a man." And I told her, I said, one reporter that had been watching him do his last speech was saying that we were watching a legend being developed while we watch. And I said, I, I think I've done about 25 videos on YouTube so far about the Ukraine and abuse and Putin and everything else. And when I walked in and turned the TV on, I can't get Yellowstone, or 1883, or I can't. So about the only other thing worth watching is that crazy show, Killing Eve, and I haven't seen that for a long time, too long. And but apparently I'm going to be able to. But nonetheless, anyways, they said that Putin has a 400 men strong who are intending to their very best of their ability to assassinate Lewinsky. And three attempts had been made on his life last week. And the chap who was being interviewed was a former head in the NATO organization, and he was saying that Putin is never going to stop. And I've been saying for some time, you think Putin is going to stop at the Ukrainian border? He can't afford to. I mean, he can't afford to do what he's doing, except that Biden, the NATO countries, are still buying oil from Putin. And it's so funny. It's so revealing. as to the lack of character within the parameters of a person who would call themselves a politician. That's why I like Donald Trump so much. A man of wealth. He didn't need a dollar from being president of the United States of America, and he didn't take a dollar. He handed the money over to charity. And people railed on him. The Democratic Party, and unfortunately some backstabbing conservatives, Republicans down there did the same thing with him. And he strove to do the right thing. And he didn't have to do anything. I mean, he truly didn't have to do anything. And it was not vanity that caused him to run for president of the United States. It wasn't delusional self-grandizement like Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi and the Lion Schiff and all those people who say one thing and are doing another, as exemplified in the oil embargo. That's not there. It's not there. Nancy Pelosi a year ago defunded the police until she realized that she forgot to take into consideration Black Lives Matter in other organizations in the States that hate because of color. And then I think of Justin Trudeau up here, who referred to the Canadian truckers as being Nazis. And if a politician runs out of an intelligent thought, all they do is do talking points, semblance of truth, but truly denying the reality of the situation that they're condemning. So, Biden, I question that he's had an original thought that wasn't suspect for most of his political life. I mean, he sat, I doubt that he'd be called a backbencher, but he sat so far off on the side that his evil intent was not revealed. And you hear people say one thing, but they don't do anything to back up that one thing. Like Biden, he says, we're not going to stop buying oil from Putin. Well, why would he? Xi Jinping would probably be disenchanted with Biden. That's the last thing Biden wants. And if Biden, in his insecurity, continues to live as he is living, and afraid of everything that Putin even hints at, the man would do well, to retire. Biden shouldn't be anywhere near a button that would engage nuclear events. Putin shouldn't either. But Putin is the exemplification of what a bully is. 2-3 videos ago, I tried to, I was a little too emotionally involved, and my Irish spontaneity it's not good. It's not always premised on intelligent thought. But nonetheless, I tried to paint a picture of a child being torn from its family by an abuser. And the abuser says to the family, "You tried to rescue her?" And the family was told very clearly what was happening to the little baby girl. And the family said, you tried to rescue her? You intervened? With Biden, He does not need Bran. I'm being a bit coarse. All he has to do is live in the fear that he seems to live in, that makes him to be afraid of his own shadow. And I didn't think he was cognitive enough to even be afraid. I mean, an original thought, not likely. I mean, not likely. And yet, a reporter asked him, are you going to proceed with charges of war crimes against Putin? And Biden says, we'll have to wait and see if there are any. As a people, can you imagine what is going on in this modern time era of, shall we speak of everything other than politicians? Let's call it the day of enlightenment, but not for them, because they're still wallowing at the trough that is being filled by Xi Jinping. They have sold their heart and soul. And I'm talking all but a couple of Democrats. It's unbelievable. And I spoke this morning of the idea that there were going to be public killings of people right in the town squares, in order for Putin to intimidate the rest of the people into submission. And history teaches you that Putin is going to surround each city, and he is going to blow. I'm being very careful now. My sister watches these, okay? And he is going to level the cities, and he is going to kill women and children indiscriminately, because he already is. His history indicates that he has already done that many times, and he's going to do it again. And the Ukrainian people, they've been asking. But people like Biden, they say, well, we don't want to do anything that's going to cause Putin to push the nuclear button. I say a bully is going to do anything that he wants, that he believes he can get away with. And if Putin fulfilled Xi Jinping's intent, he would blow the hell out of North America with his nuclear bombs. And isn't it funny? Isn't it funny? I'm not sure if it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, NATO and the world, let's say the world, probably Putin was right in there real good along with Xi Jinping to get the Ukraine to turn over all their nuclear weapons. Do you think for one moment that Putin would be attacking another nuclear-powered government? I mean, Putin's sensitivity is best summed up in this. They fired on, with tanks, they fired on a nuclear plant. And now they run the nuclear plant. And Putin says he just did it to defend the people. Putin never did anything for the people, not even his own. He does not give a rat's ass about anyone other than himself. And he is going to restore the Soviet Russia to what it was after the First World War. I'm learning a bit more history as we go. Oh my, whoa, what I don't know, we could write a book about, but Oh, geez, I'm not very good at writing books. As exemplified by the black-haired warrior woman. Boy, I'm going to redo that one. I'm going to kind of clean it up a little tiny bit, and I'm going to do that in a series. Too good not to. Just as a footnote, my cousin, Gilbert Martin, a cowboy, a rancher, an outfitter, a hunter, one of two men that I have known in my family, Martin family out in Northern Ireland. Great granddad came over in 1857. But my cousin Gilbert died last night. And he and I, we had a few good talks about the Lord, not much. He didn't say much. He asked a bit. I studied his face. He said, posed a few questions. What do you think of this? I told him. He said, yeah, that's what I thought. And he's going to be with the Lord. And I can say that with a lot of confidence because I grew up in the church. I've known a lot of Christians over the years. And my cousin never said much about God, but he sure did not say anything against God. And he sure didn't say much about church. I never heard him say anything bad about church. He and his family, 5 kids, I think, could be more. Barry Moore Ferry, over by Drayton Valley. The most Christian family that I ever met, who, to the best of my knowledge, never spoke directly to me about the Lord, except Gilbert Martin's dad. His name was, we called him Uncle George, and his wife Aunt May. And I first met them back in 1971, I believe. And what an honor. And he was always talking about God. I mean, always. He ran his mouth just about as much as I do. And but anyways, I just want you to know that a great man, Gilbert Martin, has passed and gone to be with the Lord. There's another great man over there named Lewinsky or something like that. Oh, geez, I gotta write myself notes. Oh, geez. And he is a great man. The problem with great men is they don't understand how common thinking, base thinking men behave. And so Lewinsky, let's call him Lewinsky because I think that's right, he doesn't understand why NATO and the U.S. would be worried about no-fly zone. Doesn't understand at all because Putin is a vacuous space in the mental acuity, but he's smart. That sounds strange, like an opposite, but it's not really. Putin may well say tomorrow, and he could very well, he could say, anyone that gives weapons in support of the Ukraine, we're at war with you. Xi Jinping would love that because Xi Jinping is watching how the world is kissing Putin's rear end. I hope you appreciate the restraint there. And because when Putin is done taking over Europe, NATO, every other little country, Xi Jinping is going to and may well start early by attacking Taiwan. I mean, his testing has already been done. He knows what he thinks he can get away with. And he's watching the weakness of the United States of America and the acquiescing of NATO, because the U.S. and NATO, they're still, not Canada, but the European NATO, they're still buying oil from Putin, and they're paying him. And Putin has taken that money and attacking the Ukraine, killing women, children, and trying his best to assassinate Lewinsky. Pray that God somehow will keep Lewinsky alive. And Olena, spelled with an O, I thought it was an A, Agnes, Guinness. Jeez. Yep, I'm going to have to do the notes, children. Pray that they live. Okay. Pray that the children won't suffer too much. Pray that there won't be children watching their moms, their dads being shot down in a firing squad.